A loved husband and father goes missing. His wife is frantic to find him.
I gotta get to him. We gotta find him.
A psychic finds herself as a go-between, relaying clues she believes come from the man who's gone missing.
It's Pickle, it's Pickle.
Will this clue help police solve the mysterious disappearance?
I could see the sincerity in her face. She believed what she was telling me.
He wants to be found.
March 1st, 1997, in the small town of Sharpsville, Pennsylvania, local chef Darryl Cozart headed out on Saturday night after work. He hasn't returned home to his wife Jeanette and their 2 small children. She knows something's not right.
He told me he was gonna go to see some friends at a bar, which was very unusual for him. Darryl didn't usually go hang out with friends. He was a really family man.
On Sunday, when Darryl still hasn't returned home, Jeanette Cozart reports him missing to the police. To them, it's just a missing person case.
It's not uncommon for a spouse to report somebody missing who maybe run off with some friends to get away for a few days.
I knew something had to have happened to him for him not to contact me and not to let us know he's okay.
Usually within 48 hours, the person appears back at home and maybe has to eat a little crow or has some patching up to do at home, but they always come back.
They pretty much just told me, don't worry. He's probably just on a drinking binge. And I'm like, no, this is not my husband. He didn't do those kind of things. He went to work, he came home. This is not what he did.
Police weren't aware of any problems at home or what would make him run off.
They told me that it would be 72 hours, of course, before they could list him as a missing persons. And that's when we kind of took matters into our own hands and started making flyers up because we were frustrated. I just thought, well, maybe he's hurt. I gotta get to him, we gotta find him.
Jeanette's mother drops off some missing person flyers at the newsstand owned by psychic Mary Ellen Rodriguez. Her son-in-law, Darryl Cozart's been missing now for 2 days.
She handed me the missing persons paper. When I touched it, it seemed like the energy of Darryl, all of a sudden, it opened something up, and there was Darryl standing next to her. Here was Mary on this side of me, and here was Darryl on this side of me, and I'm watching 2 worlds going on at the same time. Here's Darryl on the other side with his hands pressed against like a wall, saying, just show me where the door is, just show me where the door is. And just show me where the doorway is so I can come back. I need to come back. I said, Mary, he's dead. He's dead. He's standing right next to you. And she turned and looked and still wasn't aware of him there like I was. I saw him as if I could touch him, and I saw her knowing I could touch her.
Jeanette's mother tells her daughter of the bizarre encounter she had that morning. Jeanette goes to the newsstand. She hopes this total stranger, Mary Ellen, will be able to help her find Darryl.
I walked in, and Mary Ellen walked up to me, and she put her arms around me and just held me.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, Jeanette.
She just kept repeating, I'm so sorry. I'm so, so sorry.
I am so sorry.
She told me that that wasn't her, and it was Darryl telling me he was sorry. He was just so, so sorry.
Mary Ellen explains to Jeanette it is Darryl speaking and acting through her.
I said, he's standing there next to you. He's so sorry. I said, he's trying to find his way back. I said, but he can't come back.
She had told me that he was shot, that we would find him, and he would have a rope around his neck.
So sorry.
Mary Ellen says she became a conduit between 2 worlds, with Darryl pushing her to relay messages to Jeanette.
Darryl kept saying to me, ghost, tell her ghost. I just said to her, does ghost mean anything to you? And she reared back and put her hand up and said, yes, that was our favorite movie.
The moment she said it, I had chills from my head down to my toes. And at that moment, I knew it was him, and that this was the real thing. And that no matter how much I wanted him to be here on earth with us, he was no longer.
Later the same day, Mary Ellen gets another visitor, Detective Jerry Smith.
Hi, Jerry. How are you tonight?
He's a policeman in the town just next to Sharpsville, the town where Daryl Cozart lived.
When Jerry came in, I said to him, you know that guy that's missing, he's dead.
First I looked at her like, you know, you're nuts, you know. She says, no, I have this vision, and I see things, and he's laying out in a field or a swamp. It's real marshy, she said, and I could see he has something around his neck, like a rope or a chain, and that he's shot. And I didn't know what to make of it.
And he said, how do I know he's dead? I said, well, he's standing right next to you.
I thought at first she was joking. And then I could see the sincerity in her face that she wasn't joking. She believed what she was telling me. And it's bizarre, and it makes it difficult because you can't use apparitions or visions as testimony in any court of law as the laws as we know it. So to vow or to affirm that something is true based on a vision, the courts will not recognize it. So basically it becomes at that point and just a piece of information to guide the investigator, more of a tool than anything.
Detective Smith decides he has to pass on the information because of Mary Ellen's credibility.
It's not like some transient that just comes walking in off the street and says, hey, I had a vision. This is a business person who has a good reputation in the community and has had that business there for years.
Detective Smith meets with the Sharpsville police, the neighboring police force with jurisdiction over the case.
I remember saying to him, I don't think I'm crazy. I'm not drinking. I'm not smoking anything. But Mary claims she had a vision, and the person you're looking for is deceased, and he was murdered. I remember the officer kind of looked at me like, yeah, you're right. I do think you're crazy. But he took the information down.
Skeptical, the Sharpsville police check out Detective Smith's information. An officer visits Mary Ellen, who says Daryl is telling her what to say.
Well, yes, I said he's dead. And that seemed to be what I kept saying over and over. Daryl wanted him to know where he had been shot, and I told him I was feeling everything that he was feeling. And I felt the bullet.
Despite Mary Ellen's clues, police are still not convinced this is anything more than a husband who's run off.
He was such a great father. He loved his kids so much. Playing football with his son and helping his daughter learn how to ride her bike.
It seemed as if nobody wanted to do anything about finding this young man.
It was a very frustrating time because I wanted answers so desperately.
Mary Ellen felt Daryl was begging her not to give up.
Please tell them that I'm dead. Please tell them they need to be looking for me.
A father of two just disappears one night in a small Pennsylvania town. Daryl Cozart's family feels something is wrong and start searching for him. From the moment psychic Mary Ellen Rodriguez first hears about the case, she says she's had Daryl as a constant companion.
Every morning when I crossed the bridge into Pennsylvania, he would tip my mirror down, and his eyes would be looking back at me in the mirror. And I would say, "Good morning, Daryl." And that would begin our day.
Mary Ellen believes he's trying to tell her what happened, but she can't always make sense of the clues.
He's screaming it in my ear. It's Pickle, it's Pickle.
She kept pacing back and forth and just, what do you mean fickle? What's so fickle? Who's being fickle?
Daryl has now been missing for more than 72 hours. The police decide to investigate his disappearance and question people who work with him to see if they can get a lead.
There were really no signs that there was any foul play because everybody they spoke to liked Daryl, and he was a likable person, and there was really no suspects as far as he didn't have any enemies.
They do find one person who may have some information about that night.
They had interviewed co-workers of his, and one woman was focused in on as being one of the last people to see Daryl.
But police have no reason to suspect her. Jeanette Cozart knows Daryl's co-worker, but only by her first name, Cindy or Cynthia.
When I walked into the restaurant where he had worked, Cindy was there. She asked me what I was doing there, and I says, I'm looking for Daryl. Have you seen Daryl? Well, no, I saw him last night. He worked here last night, and he took me home, but that's the last time I saw him. I'm like, okay. And then she hugged me and told me that she was sure everything was going to be all right. He'll turn up.
That's not what Mary Ellen is telling Jeanette. She believes Daryl's been shot, but she can also feel that he's been hung. It's like she is experiencing what happened to Daryl.
I felt like I was choking, and I wanted to pull this away from my throat, so I felt that there was a rope around my neck. My forehead would itch. I start scratching my forehead, and I feel like I'm adjusting a bandana on my forehead. So I began to realize that at the moment that he was murdered, he was actually wearing a bandana.
It wasn't just an itchy forehead. Mary Ellen says Daryl tried to get her attention in other ways.
He would start banging on my walls. My walls would start banging, and my phone would start ringing. Again, trying to get my attention to do something. Come on, you got to do something. You have to do something. You have to call them, tell them, and I did.
Driven by Daryl's desperation to be found and her desire to help Jeanette, Mary Ellen goes out searching for clues night after night.
I truly went looking for the body because nobody believed me. And Jeanette was, her life was in too much turmoil with news media and trying to keep her children calm. I felt like a search party of one. In my off time, and I would go out looking for him, hoping that he would take me to where his body was. I feel his excitement when I'm really close to where he may be. He gets excited, like, this is it, and he'll say, this is it, here, here, here.
Mary Ellen feels Daryl keeps bringing her back to one street.
That's where his body was. I felt that that's where it had happened. Right there in that area. Daryl acknowledged that it was right around in here, he said to me, it was right around in here. This is where they killed me. This is where they murdered me. He was very frustrated at the lack of enthusiasm that the police department had for finding him. I didn't know how else to help him except to go out looking for him.
She was determined, and I think Daryl was pushing her.
Finally, after days of searching, Mary Ellen gets a signal she believes is from Daryl.
I was out looking for a sign of where Daryl may be. I was talking with Daryl, and I said to Daryl, please help me to help you. Show me where you may be, or even in the area, show me. When I found the sneaker, it was pointed west towards the airport, and so that may have been a sign that he's either in this area or he's down that way, down west to the airport.
Mary Ellen was worried no one would believe her, so she doesn't tell police about the shoe, but she feels it may have been a sign after all. A week after his disappearance, police find Daryl Cozart's van near the airport. Inside the van, police discover evidence of Daryl's murder.
The van had blood. You went on the side doors, there was blood on the carpet.
There's only a couple ways you can get blood in there. And unfortunately, one is the person's deceased.
Mary Ellen has been telling the police Daryl's dead from the beginning.
So that became a validation for me. For Daryl, that was a sigh of relief that, see, now they know I'm dead.
It's now a murder investigation, and police are under pressure to find Daryl's body.
We didn't know exactly where he was killed or by who.
The last thing you want is the public to feel unsafe, like there's a killer on the loose somewhere, and am I next?
But to find the killer, the police need more evidence. Mary Ellen feels Daryl is trying to help by telling her where to find his body.
They showed me a picture. There was a calendar up on my wall. It was a bog area with high grass and the little fence. That's where his body was.
Mary Ellen knows Daryl is desperate to be found and feels him getting more and more agitated. She is shocked by what she says happened next.
I'm driving to church, and he grabs my steering wheel. He says, I want to go to the police department. I want them to know I want to be buried in a gray pinstripe suit. Finally, I had to strike a deal with him, And I said, okay, Daryl, I tell you what. I said, you let me go to church, and then afterwards I will drive to the police department and we'll talk. And he conceded and he let go of the steering wheel.
So after church, Mary Ellen pays a visit to the Sharpsville police to ask why they're not checking nearby bogs, like the picture she showed them on her calendar.
And I said, you've got a picture of where he's located. Can't you find that area? Can't you just search? Can't you go out and look? I know he's face up, and my forehead is still itchy, so he's still wearing the bandana.
The officer isn't convinced there's any merit to what she's saying.
He said, I don't have the manpower to do that, and that could be any place. Daryl was answering all the questions. And at that point, the police officer said to me, will you tell him that if he wants to wear that suit, we better find him soon.
Mary Ellen relays messages back and forth, and finally, one last bit of information from Daryl for the Sharpsville police.
And he said, tell him before Tuesday. Before Tuesday morning, they will find me.
Daryl Cozart has been missing now for over a week, and psychic Mary Ellen Rodriguez is convinced the police are on the verge of finding his body. Monday afternoon, all of Mary Ellen's predictions come true.
I could feel his excitement. My hands were trembling, I was shaking. He was very excited about they had found him.
Another break for the police. A passing truck driver on Highway 11 near the Pennsylvania-Ohio border spots a body wrapped in plastic, dumped by the road. Daryl is found by a bog, exactly as Mary Ellen had predicted.
A truck driver happened to come along down a road near a swamp and had spotted what he thought was a body laying out in this grassy area, called police, and police arrived and ended up being Daryl.
One of the most horrific things I've had to go through in my life. Losing Daryl this way, having him murdered, was hard. But telling our children was the hardest thing I have ever done.
It was 3 o'clock or 4 o'clock when they found his body, and he was really excited, and my phone rang, and I said, I know, you found him, didn't you? I already knew. And they did find him face up, and he was wearing a bandana.
He was found shot and had a rope around his neck, almost exactly the way she said he would be.
Now do you believe me? And Daryl was saying the same thing. Now do you believe me?
There was things that she described that would make you believe or make you suspicious that she may have been there, because there was things that were not released to the press that were found at the crime scene that she described. Call it coincidence, call it phenomena. It's unexplained.
The evidence confirms what Mary Ellen has been telling the police. The rope didn't kill Daryl. He'd been shot 5 times at close range with a .44 caliber gun.
That Daryl died a very violent death.
I saw the whole thing. He showed it to me. He didn't know he was going to be killed. He didn't know that he was being set up to be murdered.
The discovery of Daryl's body leads to the police getting a tip. It's from a man who has information about someone who knew Daryl.
Originally, he wasn't suspicious. He just said that he asked them to move the furniture, and they went into the garage, and there was a van in there, and there was a large tarp rolled up sort of like a carpet. And he said when he asked them to move this, he can feel legs. And then that's when he says, is this an individual?
Shockingly, the answer is yes, and the friend knows this person is dead. But he doesn't tell police until after the discovery of Daryl's body.
Just because of friendship, he just let it go. And then when it became public as to who the individual was, and he decided that he would go ahead and tell us basically what he did.
Mary Ellen has one unsolved clue, and it's about to make sense.
It's Pickle, it's Pickle, it's Pickle.
It turns out the name of the suspected killer is Frank Pickle. The tip is from a friend of his. A few days earlier, he'd helped Pickle move a body.
Kind of threw me for a loop, because this is one of the things Mary Ellen had told me that Daryl kept saying to her was Pickle. He keeps repeating Pickle, she would say, and I'm like, well, what's Pickle, you know? And you never think of it as a person's last name.
With a search warrant in hand, police comb the Pickle home looking for evidence.
And he'll say, this is it, here, here, here.
It's the same street Mary Ellen Rodriguez has been driving past looking for clues.
And it was quite apparent that he was shot in that basement.
The killer had tried to destroy evidence.
A couple walls you can see had just been painted. You can see the floor has been washed down, and you can see that they were using bleach, things such as that. And some of the material was still there, so you can tell it was just fresh.
But the killer hadn't been able to get rid of all of the evidence.
Searching the basement, I could see different fibers still clinging to the cobwebs. Then as I kept on examining the area, I can see, even though there's minute, you can see buds spatter in different locations on the furnace pipes. And in one place I seen up in the rafters, there was a fairly good sized piece of scalp too.
At the moment that he was murdered, he was actually wearing a bandana.
Mary Ellen was right. Daryl had been wearing a blue bandana when he was shot.
We found a bandana up in the upstairs or on the first level floor that had the bullet hole in. And it had one bullet hole in the same area of where he was shot.
Police interview Frank Pickle's estranged wife. It turns out police have already talked to her. She's Cynthia, who worked with Daryl and was one of the last to have seen him alive. She said Daryl arrived at the Pickle home around midnight. She invited him in and sent him to the basement to smoke. But she told police she had no idea Frank Pickle was waiting there to kill Daryl.
Pickle was a person who was very jealous and had made himself believe that his wife had been having an affair with Daryl.
He was supposed to go down a cellar to smoke some grass, and when he got down, the shooting took place in the basement.
Frank Pickle had used his body as target practice.
Frank Pickle is arrested on Wednesday, March 12, 1997, for murdering Daryl Cozart in a jealous rage.
I don't even know how to explain how you feel inside when you look face to face at the man that murdered your husband. And anger, frustration, just emptiness.
The arrest is just a week and a half after Daryl went missing. Frank Pickle is found guilty of first-degree murder and sentenced to life imprisonment.
Daryl didn't deserve to die. He deserved to be here to raise his children and to love his children. God put him here for a reason, and Frank had no right to take him out of God's picture. No right.
Mary Ellen's involvement maybe led investigators to dig a little deeper, to talk to a few more people, because early in the investigation it was just a missing person. And generally a missing person investigation doesn't entail bringing in detectives. Well, if Mary Ellen would approach me again with any information on a crime we were investigating, I certainly would talk with her, and I certainly would take the information and give a little more weight than I would have the first time.
I would not have been able to take that journey without Mary Ellen. Without her, I would have been extremely lost. And we may never have found out who did it.
And Daryl finally did get to wear his gray-striped suit at his funeral. For that, Mary Ellen is grateful.
My life changed forever when I became divided between two worlds, the earth world and the spirit world.